Hey guys, this is Sean from Untitled Education, and today we're going to do our day 2 of our CELPIP crash course. Yesterday we did day 1 and we discussed writing. If you haven't seen that video, please feel free to do so. I mentioned lots of tips there, very interesting things about brainstorming, making the right templates, using the right structure, and that's the aim of this whole crash course in the 7 days, to teach you everything you need to know for your CELPIP exam. Today we're going to tackle speaking and discuss those things. In these videos, I'm also talking about self-evaluation, how you have to mark yourself, what you can expect the examiner to see, and a lot of criteria that I'm going to be discussing in the next 5 more days after today. So for today, our menu is speaking, and we're going to talk about all 8 topics of CELPIP speaking. I will not discuss the templates though, because I have uploaded multiple videos on that now. If you want to see the template details, please look at my YouTube channel, search for the videos with the templates, and you'll get tons of info there. I just don't want to repeat myself, especially for people who have seen those discussions already. So what I'm going to discuss today are things regarding brainstorming, which again I mentioned in my video yesterday. If you haven't seen it, please do so. And I'm going to talk about brainstorming for CELPIP speaking, plus the marking criteria, as well as how you can talk more efficiently in the kind of courses we teach. So again, learning in a course is much more different, because then you would have a teacher giving you your personal feedback. However, I'm going to try to tell you how you can give yourself some feedback if you don't want to take any lessons and you want to just learn from YouTube, which is totally fine. We're going to start with questions 1, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to group them together because these are questions which are supposed to be spoken naturally. So when people are talking, they mostly make a mistake in being natural. That's the biggest problem. You guys have to understand that there is a mark for tone in CELPIP. So if you are talking to a friend, but you're talking like a robot, like you're just reading things, you're not being friendly, you will lose a mark. For example, question number 1, it says your friend is about to lose weight and you gotta give him some suggestions. So if you remember our template, we do 3 points to give suggestions in the first answer. Now, if I think that this person is a real life person, it's my friend, his name is Harry, he's actually obese, and I have to advise him to lose weight, I'm gonna tell him things very differently. Like, I'm not gonna say, Harry, you should go to gym, you should work out, that's what we start doing. But since I know Harry, what I'm gonna say is, firstly, you should really go to a gym, and I understand that you changed your job and you're completely stressed out with work. However, all you gotta do is, instead of waking up at 10 a.m., just wake up 1 hour early at 9 a.m. That's just 1 hour before your usual wake up time. Can't be that hard. And then you can go to the gym for 1 hour, etc. So the reason I know he wakes up at 10 a.m. is because this guy is a real life person, and I know that he actually has that kind of schedule. By relating to this, I am able to be natural. I'm not pausing, because I'm like talking to a friend. When I'm talking to a friend, I don't need preparation time. I don't need pausing time. So all those problems go away. Plus, I have more things to talk about because I know this guy. I can even talk about how the gym is 5 minutes away from your home. I can even talk about how you gained 20 pounds in the last 6 months. So I can talk about multiple things because I know this person. That's why being natural and assuming that you're talking to a real person can do wonders for your speech. Same thing for questions 6, 7, and 8. Basically, be natural and assume you're actually talking to a real person. Now, you might think of question number 7. That is not talking to a real person. That's an argument, right? But you still have to think you're talking to a real person. Let me tell you why. When you do question 7, you have a debate. So let's say the topic is smoking is bad for you, and you agree, okay? So when people are generally talking, they're gonna say smoking is bad because it's bad for the health, it damages the liver, it's not really good, etc. Very robotic. It's not gonna give you a 9 or 10. For a 9 or 10, you need to make it a debate. You need to make it aggressive. How you do that is assume that there's a person sitting in front of you, and he or she is saying that smoking is excellent. And now you are fighting with that person verbally. So if you do that, you will have more intensity, you will have more aggression. You're not gonna say things like, you don't know what you're talking about, I'm right. We're not saying that. We're just thinking we're talking to this person. Now, how the tone will change is, I personally really believe that people who support smoking, they don't really look after their health, because with smoking, you're damaging your liver, you're damaging your kidneys and your heart. We don't want a life like that, right? So you see, I'm assuming I'm talking to a person. So I'm like, we don't want that kind of life, right? Now I give this a variety. I give the examiner a range of sentences. I'm talking like this. I'm saying, you don't want this, you don't want this. So I'm again giving a range of sentences. My second point, I'll change up my range of sentences, and then I'm gonna be talking more about something like, secondly, just assume that you go out and smoke for 30 days and just do an x-ray. Check it again, you would notice your heart is whatever, right? So again, it feels like I'm talking to this person, but I'm not really talking to a person. I'm just making myself believe that. And by doing that, I get naturally more aggressive, I get more things to say, and I don't feel the pressure of the exam. I feel like I'm talking naturally. Okay, so 1, 6, 7, 8, these questions speak naturally. With the materials you guys have for CELPIP speaking, you might have the ones from Paragon that are free, you might have purchased some, or if you're taking classes with us, we provide materials for free. So when you see the questions, try to brainstorm multiple situations. So the one question is, advise your friend on losing weight. So you're giving 3 points. Don't just think of 3 points, think of 6 points, okay? Think of 10 points. Because if you have a lot of points in your brain is able to think faster. And when it comes to the exam, you have very little time for preparation. Let's be honest, the preparation time is 90% reading the question and 10% actual preparation time. So your brain should be thinking fast then. If you can train your mind to push itself, think of 10 points when 3 are needed. Think of well, let's say with question number 8, you need maybe 3 points as well. Yeah, 2 to 3 points. So again, think of 10 points, and then 3 will become easy. So try brainstorming that way too. Think that you are actually given 5 minutes to talk and you have to give 10 points instead of 3. That should really help out. Okay, let's go on to question 2. So with question 2, again, templates are mentioned before. You have a structure, you can see that in my videos. Just one thing I'll mention. When you guys define the thing that's being asked, like talk about a possession, talk about your favorite vacation spot, etc., just do 2 points, okay? Don't try to, like, if you talk about your car, your favorite car, don't say it has a radio, it has a Bluetooth, it has sunroof, it has... Don't do too much, because you have only 1 minute. The examiner doesn't really care about the content, trust me. This is an English test, not a knowledge test. If you can do a good intro, a good conclusion, you have fancy connectors in between, and you say things correctly with the right grammar, that's more than enough. In terms of answering this question, all you got to do is think of 2 main points. For example, your car, it is equipped with a lot of tech features which make the use of the car very convenient, including things like Bluetooth and hands-free. That's it, 1 point. I'm not going into the detail that I can turn on my Bluetooth from my cell phone. No, not all of that. And the second point is the car drives very smooth. It just moves on the road as if I was swimming on water, and it feels very natural. I love the way it drives, that's it. Okay, this is enough for features. So guys, for question number 2, go in my template and read it and understand, but also just use 2 to 3 points maximum. Don't say much. You only have 1 minute. If you say like 10 points and do intro and conclusion, you will be in a bit of a mess. Okay, questions 3 and 4, the picture question. So I've mentioned this before in my template, that you have to make sure you use a lot of connectors. Some good connectors are furthermore, likewise, moreover, also, accordingly, other than that, on top of that, more, or what is that? What's more? Okay, these are some good connectors because you're going to be connecting a lot of things, right? So that's a good one. I wanted to give you a little different, not a different template, but I wanted to give you an advice. When examiners are checking your speaking, they're looking for a range of sentences, right? And the aim of this crash course is to help you guys understand what is needed, so you can just make the range of sentences by yourself. Now, if I start question number 3, and I'm describing the picture, you start with the intro, right? That in this picture I can notice, whatever. Now your next sentence should be an adjective, okay? It should have an adjective. It should be something like, on the top right, the gentleman who looks to be very sophisticated is trying to make wine. Now, I called him sophisticated because I'm trying to put an adjective. The very next sentence, I'm going to say an adverb. So now I'm going to say, moreover, his wife is irritatingly asking him to get out of the bar. So now, irritatingly, I'm putting I'm putting an adverb. So now I got my mark for adjective and adverb. I got my range of sentences. And now I can continue talking about the picture. I'm not worried anymore. And then the minute will run out quick, so you don't have to keep doing it again and again. But at least one sentence with one adjective, one sentence with one adverb, and that should give you the mark for your range of sentences. This is for parts 3 and 4. For part 5, okay, so again, part 5, we've talked about it in depth in my templates. Again, please look at that video. Now, a few pointers again, because in part 5, we're trying to do many things, trying to do the right English, of course, but also get a range of sentences. At the same time, we're trying to compare and convince. I cannot tell you guys to be natural here. Even though you're talking to a person, the issue is there is so much written already in the pointers that our job is to finish the points first. Not just our points in our picture, but also comparing them with the other picture. So you can't really be natural, like make up stuff, just like I was making up stuff of waking up at 10 a.m. and 9 a.m. Here you have to read it from the points, but it's easy. You want to start by saying that, hello, whoever. Now I understand you wanted to go with this option, but I truly believe that this other option is better. Okay, so you start with that. Now when you're comparing, you want to do at least 2 sentences this way. You can say it's reasonable. I get it that it's reasonable to have this feature that you have. However, in my option, I have this. The next sentence should be something like, I also love the fact that you have whatever. Nevertheless, I can't get over the feeling that we need whatever. So if you put 2 sentences like these, you are comparing what you have. You admit that he has this, but I have this. We need 2 of those because the examiner is seeing if you can compare. So you put these 2 sentences, you have that fancy intro that I mentioned earlier. It shows the examiner that you are fully focused on comparison and you can use the right words to compare. I'm mixing it up too. If you notice what I said, I was saying that I love the fact that you have this, nevertheless I have whatever. Nevertheless is fancy. It's good. Love is not, but I put it there intentionally because you need to make it natural in terms of the vocab, but at the same time not basic. So we keep throwing all the positive things to the examiner to show that we have a range and we can do any sort of sentence. So by doing that, it'll help you get that range mark, the comparison mark, the tone mark, vocab mark, every mark that's out there. And that's pretty much it. So that's our lesson today. If you guys do these strategies, you will have everything that the examiners require from you. How will you judge now that you're on the right track? Well, just by implementing all of these things, you'll be much better. Whatever score you had, you'll definitely increase 1 point with these suggestions. But how can you tell for sure? Well, firstly, there are different things you're being marked on. If you want to write it down, you can. Actually, please do so, because you will have to evaluate yourselves. The things you're marked on are clarity, how clear you are when you're talking. Then response, did you answer the question correctly? Then in CELPIP, it's the timing as well. Did you finish on time? And did you start like after half a minute was passed? No, you should start when it starts. So timing is important. Pronunciation is not, so accent does not matter. Grammar is super important. Grammar is marked. Vocabulary, of course, it's marked. Structure is marked, how organized you are. And I would say structure and conjunctions, like connectors, are very closely related, because if you have good connectors, you would have a good structure. Intro and conclusion, the style of that matters too. That's marked as well. Finally, the tone is marked. So if you're being natural or robotic, etc. By the way, range of sentences are marked, and I didn't mention that because vocab and range of sentences are the same mark. So when you evaluate yourself, you want to speak, record it on a sound recorder on your phone, listen to it and play it. and look at these pointers and think, if you were the examiner, what mark you would give yourself. Do not compare this with the sample answers you see online. I don't want to mention the name of the company again, but I've mentioned that before, that don't compare it with the samples online that claim that this is a level 10, level 12. They're really bad samples actually, so don't rely on those. The most accurate thing I can promise is myself. So on my YouTube videos, the samples you have seen me doing, compare it to that. I don't think 12 is achievable. And when I did my CELPIP exam, I got an 11 in speaking. So it's not impossible to get a 12, but it is pretty difficult. So I would say my level would be 11, although I want to say it's 12, but let's say on my videos it's 11. Take that as the top, as the pinnacle, and compare your speaking with that. If it's close to it, if it marks and matches all the criteria that I mentioned, you're good. You can go ahead and do the exam. But if not, if you're still struggling, you need to do some classes. For that, you can of course always contact me. My email is always in the description. You can also comment if you need any help. And you can visit our website at www.hzadeducation.com for more details about our lessons. So that's pretty much it. I guess this will really help you in speaking, and just practice it more and more. Brainstorming, doing the templates, the strategies, then recording and evaluating yourself. That's all you need, and that should really help you out. Until next time, guys, if you found this video useful, feel free to subscribe, feel free to share, and I'll talk to you guys very soon. Take care.